This is a News 3 Now special report.
Thanks for watching this special report from Channel 3000 as part of our commitment to covering the virus in a fact-based way. I'm going to put today's headlines in one place so you can get caught up. There are now more than 3,700 confirmed cases in Wisconsin, at least 185 deaths, complications related to the disease causing those deaths. Milwaukee County nearing 2,000, 105 deaths. Dane County, 351 confirmed cases now, and 15 deaths. Governor Evers has signed the state's coronavirus relief bill into law. Earlier today, the bipartisan legislation passed the Senate. The legislation touches on multiple areas, removing the one-week waiting period for unemployment benefits, allowing pharmacists to extend prescriptions, expanding senior care, and setting aside money for the Joint Finance Committee to assign later if needed. Today, lawmakers said they may be back to pass more. Developing tonight, the Milwaukee County Patrick Cudahy dry sausage and bacon plant is closing for 2 weeks due to coronavirus. Smithfield Foods, Inc. says a small number of employees there and at a Patrick Cudahy facility in Missouri have tested positive. Employees will be paid for those 2 weeks while they're home, and the facilities will be sanitized. According to the FDA, there's no evidence of food or food packaging being associated with transmission of the virus. Healthcare workers are calling for state policymakers to pass legislation to help them as they fight the pandemic on the front lines. In a Zoom meeting today, nurses, hospital and nursing home staff from across the state are asking for those measures, including more PPE, fully paid sick time, and hazard pay. Many say they only get one mask to use for an entire week and lack the paid sick time they need if they were to catch the virus. Most speakers became emotional, including a hospital housekeeper in Appleton who says she didn't have sufficient protective gear to clean rooms after a COVID-19 patient died and is unable to see her grandchildren out of fear of exposing them.
When I accepted this job as a housekeeper, I didn't ever think I might mean I'd be signing my death certificate.
We're frustrated that we continue to show up for battle against an enemy unlike one we've ever seen without the protection, resources, or the support that we need to do our jobs safely. We're frustrated that every day we work through fatigue, stress, and hazards because we care about our patients, but we don't see that same commitment from our elected leaders and our employers to support us in our vital work.
State Rep Robin Vining of Wauwatosa joined that call, expressing support and sending a letter to the legislature pushing for healthcare hero legislation. The DNR says dozens of DNR-owned boat launches across the state are now closed. That correlates with the governor's order last week that closed most state parks and recreation areas. DNR says it made the decision due to the high usage at those launches and the need to limit public gatherings for people. The department says if a state property is still open, the boat launch will also remain open. Wisconsin representative is calling for the state to cover funeral expenses for people who die of COVID-19 if their exposure can be traced to Election Day. Representative Jimmy Anderson of Fitchburg released a statement today saying holding the election in the midst of the pandemic forced people to choose between, quote, losing their right to vote or exposing themselves to a potentially deadly virus. He says the decision by his Republican colleagues sickened him, and if he could mandate it, he would make sure every member of the legislature attended the funerals of each Wisconsinite we lose, and the election was worth the loss of a loved one. The Madison School District is moving to a pass, no pass grading system for the rest of the school year. District officials say during this time, letter grades will be frozen at the first semester GPA. Transcripts will include a COVID-19 demarcation for the semester. They also say the goal of the pass, no pass policy is to be considerate of those students who are already disadvantaged, especially those who still don't have any access to virtual learning.
And what we wanted to do first and foremost was not harm students in this process with grading when this was completely out of their control.
Students at the high school level will still earn credit to stay on track for graduation. The district has so far seen an online attendance rate of over 90%. They say around 3,000 students are still in need of internet access.